Hello and welcome to Algebra 2 lesson 68. Today you will need your scientific calculators, so everyone scramble and go ahead and get those. Awesome. If you're still scrambling, scramble faster. Today we are going to estimate products and quotients of scientific notation problems with our calculators. Okay? Why do we use calculators? Why do we use tools? Honestly, I think that God has given us tools. God has given us the ability to make these things, to actually work toward problems and solve problems better and faster. God hasn't given us this spirit where we just sit around and twiddle our thumbs. No, God has empowered us to use the tools that He's given us, to use the minds that He's given us, to do really great things. So honestly, I have no problem using a calculator to simplify some of these things, and I think it's awesome. So let's go to our first problem, which is the following. We are going to simplify negative 40,652, I wrote 3, but I said 2, times 10 to the negative 8, times, we have 0.000324, times 10 to the 15th. Now, your book encourages you to estimate first. Remember how we did all of that work on estimating and you guys were all frustrated? We did like 4 times 10 to the, well, we estimated to this power, to this digit, and this digit. We rounded, we got a rough answer. You don't have to do that anymore. So, if it says simplify, they want an exact answer, you're going to have to plug it into your calculator anyways. So let's figure out how to do that. Okay, first of all, the minus sign on your calculator, you have a minus button. And then you have a subtraction operator. There are 2 different buttons. So the button at the very bottom of your calculator, if I can zoom in here, well, that's going to work. That is your negative button. That is your minus button. So if I were to draw a giant calculator here, which I took up too much room, but that's all right. The minus button down here is the one you want to use to start off with a negative number. In fact, anytime they have parentheses, I would encourage you to put parentheses as well. So you'll want the parenthesis operator, use the minus button, then enter in your number, 40652. Now, what's really cool about your calculator is that it has a times 10 to the operation already built in. For most of you, you have all of your numbers right here. Let's see. There's like a decimal point, there's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you have a little comma button here. Above the comma, you see an EE. Now, if you don't have this, somewhere on your calculator, you're going to be able to find an EE button. That button, so in this case, since it's above, you're going to have to hit the second button up top, and then click the comma button. That will give you a little E on your display. That means that you are multiplying times 10 to whatever number comes next. So again, you're going to use that minus button and 8, parentheses. You can also, of course, just do negative 40652 times 10 to the, use the little hat, and then negative 8. That works as well, but the little E button is quite nifty. So you're going to multiply this. Now, your calculator doesn't understand if you just put parentheses next to each other, so you have to put the multiplication, press the times button, if I may, and then in parentheses, 0.000324 E15. So let's all punch that into our calculators now. And you should get negative 131712480. Now, that is an answer. I actually don't agree with it because we would want our answer to be in scientific notation. And so, what is scientific notation? It's when the decimal point is after the first number. So sometimes your calculator will give you numbers in scientific notation. They will use this E thing, so watch out for that. But if the number is small enough to fit on the screen, it doesn't. So you, as the mathematician, have to put it into scientific notation. Again, and I love that question we started with at the beginning. Why does God give us tools to use? Why does God allow us to build up technology? I think he's given us minds for it, but also he's given us minds. And so you can't rely on the technology more than you rely on your own mind, the wisdom and knowledge that God's given you to discern what this thing is saying. If it gives you an answer that's way wrong, don't accept that. Check your work. Go back, see if you plug something in wrong. Okay? In the same way, this gave us an answer, but I need it in scientific notation because all of my inputs, all of these guys were, they were trying to be in scientific notation. So, how do we do that? Well, if I'm moving to the left, I've counted 8 spots. And I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So round to 2 decimal places. If you go to the left, your power is going to be positive. If you go to the right, your power will be negative. Let's try another one. So this time we're going to do some dividing. No division in the church, definitely division in math class. So let's take those same ugly numbers, but this time we're going to divide them. So we have 40,652 times 10 to the negative 8 divided by 0.000324 times 10 to the 15th. Again, you're going to use that little E button instead of the times 10 to the. And let's all plug it into our calculators now. Again, word of caution. Even though there are no parentheses here, you know that it's the top divided by the bottom. So you actually need to put in parentheses for yourselves. Again, it's all part of knowing how to use the tool. It's great that God's allowed us to make these tools, but if you don't know how to use it, you might as well not do so. But then there will be much suffering. So, parentheses throughout, and you should have gotten 1.25 times 10 to the negative 15th. Now, if you just start writing out numbers, you go 1.25469136, and then you get to the E, and you remember, oh, that's in scientific notation. Look for the E first to see if it's in scientific notation already. If it is, you're set. Now, for those very wise among you, you can actually figure out how to get your calculator to always give you an answer in scientific notation. It's somewhere in the settings. So the rest of our lesson is on powers and roots, again, using our calculator. So you'll notice over here that I alluded to this little character, the caret. Okay, that operator is right above the division sign. So you have your add, subtract, times, and divide. And then you have the caret operator. That means to the power of, to the calculator. So if I wanted to evaluate something like this, the 3.28 root, can't do that in our heads. We can do a cube root maybe, of 50.24. So how would you plug this into your calculator? Remember, roots are 1 over that. So this would be the same as 50.24 to the 1 over 3.28 power. Okay? If you have a power itself, it would just be here. But since it's a root, it's a fraction, 1 over that number. How do you plug it into your calculator? Well, it's going to be 50.24. Then you're going to press the little caret button. And then in parentheses, if you just do caret 1 divided by 3.28, that's not going to work. It's going to take it to the first power, because you do exponents first, and then divide. So you have to put this in parentheses. So if you got 15.31, you're wrong. You must add the parentheses, just like I said. But if you got 3.30, you're correct. Now, I do use the approximate equal sign, the little wavy one, because I want to make sure that I'm saying I rounded this. It's not exact. Let's look at one more and then we're done. We have 9.26 to the 4.58. How do you think we do that? It's the same process. 9.26, use the little caret button, and then 4.58. You want to round that to 2 decimal places, and that, my friends, is problem set 68.